Hi, Aletha here with Create Your Future and welcome to my video. I want to remind you that Create Your Future is still giving away a free course, How to Find Your Blocks, to manifest anything fast, and to also remind you that I have courses available and that all of my coaching right now is 50% off. We're going to talk about concepts today. And the most popular concept is always about self-concept. Why? Because self-concept is the ruling factor of everything that takes place in your consciousness. And your state of consciousness is dependent on how you view yourself and the world around you. We hear a lot of talk in the law of assumption, law of attraction community about self-concept, about being the goddess, the king, the queen of your reality, and that you rule and not putting people on pedestals and seeing yourself as worthy and deserving, because all that is true. But we don't want to come at it from a place where we're trying to convince ourselves that I am the goddess of my reality, that I am the king of my reality, the queen of my reality, that I am worthy, that I am valuable, that I deserve this beautiful relationship. I deserve the higher income. I deserve the perfect health. We don't want to come from places where we're convincing ourselves that those things are true, where I'm convincing myself that I'm not obsessed with something or someone so much so that they're on a pedestal and I'm down here somewhere. And that, no, we don't want to live from places where we're talking to ourselves to convince ourselves we are those things. We want to come from a place where we know we are those things, and that it's second place. Like, I know I'm wearing a bracelet. I know it. I don't doubt it. I don't wonder, is there a bracelet on my arm? No, there's a bracelet on my arm. I can feel it. I can touch it. And see, what people don't really realize is that when you have a concept of yourself that you know you're the operant power, you're in control of your reality, when you know you're worthy, when you know that you are valuable, when you know you're the goddess, the king of your reality, you don't have to even have a physical touch that it exists. You just know it. And when you know it to that extent internally, you're going to get the physical touch. It's going to be showing up in your 3D reality. Synchronicities are going to be happening all around you. Evidence that's proving to you that you have it. Because why? If you're in the opposite state, thinking that I don't have this and I don't have that, you've got evidence all around you that it's true, correct? You created that. So if you can create that, stop thinking about what you don't have, start thinking about what you do have, and know that it's yours. Every bit as much as I know this bracelet's on my arm, I can see it, I can feel it, you can see it, you can hear it jingling. It is real in my 3D right now. You need to make it that real in your internal world, even though you can't see a bracelet on your arm. You still know it's there, because it is who you are. That's your self-concept. Then when you're living from a state of consciousness that says, I'm in control of my reality, which means I'm in control of my state of consciousness. And as I'm in control of my state of consciousness, then I'm in control of what my personality is and how I am interacting and responding to things and reacting to everything in the 3D, which we also know, because we are the ultimate power of our reality, that the 3D is what? It is nothing more than a reflection of all your past thoughts. It's not real, but it feels real. And we've been trained to think that the outer world is the true real world. We've been trained to think that this is the true world, what I can see, feel, and touch externally. But it's not. What is the real world is inside, in the moment. You see, there's no past, there's no future. Everything takes place right now in the present beautiful moment. And all that past stuff and the future ideas, all of that is like dimensions that are happening simultaneously. I have memories from the past who are really in dimensions that are happening simultaneously, but we can't wrap our brain around that very easily. And all of my visions and dreams for the future are literally alive, real possibilities that are in existence right now in different dimensions, and all I have to do in my moment is choose which dimension I want to live from. Do I want to go in the past and just live from the memories of the past and all the hurt and all the pain, or just keep going over and over all the wonderful things, but not create a new vision for the future by knowing it's out there, selecting it, and then taking that vision, bringing it into the present moment, and then focusing on it, embracing it, becoming it, knowing that you have it now, internally, before it shows up in your 3D reality. And that's what you're doing anyway. Face it, you are. You're doing that now with the thoughts that you don't want. You're thinking thoughts that are creating stuff you don't want. That's why it's out there in the 3D reality. You can have and be and do anything you want. Do you realize what that means? It's just not a cliche phrase that people are always saying in this community. You can have, you can be, and you can do whatever you want, but only contingent on how much energy you give it, how much of your focus you give it, how much you embrace it and live from it as though you've got it now before the event actually shows up in the 3D reality. You're doing it. You're doing it now, but you're not, if your world isn't what you want it to be, stop selecting the same old stuff you've been selecting all the time to think about. And select your vision. What is it that you want? What do you want? And for me, I want several things. I want perfect health, of course. I want anti-aging. I want energy. I want enthusiasm. I want an SP. I want money. I want clients. I want a thriving life in all areas. I want family. I want friends. I mean, it's so much, right? And people think, well, you got to work on one thing and then you work on the other thing. I don't. I make all inclusive. This is who I am, and I live from being that personality. Let's look at it right now. You're all inclusive. You've got family, you've got friends, you've got money, you've got SP or the prospect of an SP or desire for an SP. You've got health, you've got the lack of health, you've got what? You've got all these things. You got your appearance, you got whatever age you are, you got your desires about all of that. You've got it all. It's all inclusive. And you're living out of it now. That's your old story or your current story. And if there are parts of that old story you don't want, you can change them now and have anything you want. And you can move it into a new story that is a projection for the future to move into your life. Because now, in this present moment, you're selecting it from the quantum field. It's all inclusive. You can be that total, beautiful, wonderful woman or man that you want to be. All inclusive now. You select it now in this moment. It comes alive as you select it now and embrace it. It's not out there somewhere waiting for you. One day I'll be that. One day after I get through college, I'll be this, this fabulous person. One day when I'm this and when I'm that, or no, you are it now, right now. You are the personality you choose to be. You're the enthusiasm, the health, the whatever it is you want. You're that now. You select it by having that desire. And if you have that desire, it's in the quantum field. And so then you put your attention on that desire. And it's an all-inclusive thing because I have more than one desire. I'm not just one-sided person. I have many, many, many areas to my life, as do everyone. Everyone does. You do. So I just make it all about like a big, big lump of stuff. This is me, all of me. I am this. And that involves my health, it involves my finances, it involves my career, it involves my love life, it involves my family, my friends, it involves everything. I see my grandchildren being these beautiful, wonderful, productive, self-sufficient, prosperous, happy people now and forever. I see them that way. I see my children that way. I always have. I've always I raised my children to grow up to be strong and powerful internally and self-sufficient and able to create a world for themselves, with their children, their families, their spouses, that is beautiful and blissful. And I raised them to leave me and be these beautiful people. Now, have they left me? No. My kids are so devoted to me. It is amazing. I am overwhelmed at times by their love for me and how well they take care of me when I need it. But I'm very efficient on my own, sufficient on my own, but they're always there. They're always there. So I raised them to leave me in the understanding that they would become their own powerful, strong, beautiful adult person who knew how to create the world they desire to have. And it's different than mine, totally. We're different, so different, but it's okay. And so it's all inclusive. You don't have to work on this and then work on that. Make it one big lump. Make it be you. It's your world. It's you think your consciousness is a little over here and a little over there? No, your body is in your consciousness. Your consciousness is not in you. Your body is in your energy, in your soul, in your spirit. You are not, that is not inside of you. You are the universe, and your body is in the universe. It's all inclusive. So the operant power, you are the operant power. And until we learn, and it is a journey, I know, till we learn and stay on the course of staying in the state of consciousness, until in our minds and inside of us, that we are the operant power, until we learn that, till we live internally understanding that everything and everyone must conform to me, because this is my quantum bubble consciousness. No one in this quantum bubble consciousness of me has any free will. I'm the only one. I direct what's going on in my consciousness. And when I don't like something, I know that I created it. I don't beat myself up. I don't get upset with me. Well, sometimes I do, and then what I know better, right? And I stop myself immediately and say, no, all I got to do is change my way of thinking. And then there's that ego inside of me says, oh, I don't want to. I'd rather think about all the crappy stuff. And then, of course, I have to work on that. And I do. And it's a refractory time that's important. How long a space of time does it take you to get yourself back out of the spiraling into the state of consciousness that says, I am the power of my life. I am in control, and everything and everyone must conform to my thoughts, and that I apply the meaning to everything. I assign it. Nothing comes from the universe with meaning. I give it to it. And so I give it the meaning. And so something shows up in my reality, instantly my ego assigns something negative. And then what do? There's a little bit of a battle. Because we're rewiring our brain, we're rewiring old programming. And in that battle, who's going to win? Me, because I'm the operant power of my reality. I control my thoughts. They're not me. They're just thoughts. They're just energy. They're just energy. And I get to choose which one of those energy things I'm going to attach myself to. And I decide that I see something. The other day, I had this thought, and it was a scary, fearful thought about something. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, I'm driving down the road and I saw it. I knew immediately I brought it into my existence. So then I decided, okay, I'm not going to give it the meaning of that fear. I'm going to give it a different meaning and choose to live from that. So when I did that, then I was living from joy. I was living from peace and contentment and happiness, as opposed to fear and anxiety. And oh my God, no, I'm not going to live there. And is it a battle to get yourself there? Sometimes, absolutely. But are you more powerful than that? Yes, you are. And is it worth it? Yes. Isn't it worth letting go of that old negative stuff to live in a place of peace and contentment and joy and happiness? It's worth it, because it's not the old stuff, that negative thought, like the one I had the other day, and then it showed up, isn't serving me. And it's not good for my body physically. I mean, if all inclusive, you want to have perfect health. Well, negative thinking is not going to get you to perfect health. You have to think in terms of your energy needs to be higher, elevated forms of energy, like joy, love, peace, contentment, happiness, gratitude. And the biggest thing to come back to as the operant power of your reality, because you are, is that gratitude. So you got a pain in your body. I'm so grateful that my body is healed and in perfect health. I'm so grateful that I'm healed. And instead of saying I'm pain-free, I stopped doing that. I used to do that. And I decided that makes me think of pain, and I don't want to think of pain. So I think, and that's a negative connotation, and it brings up stuff. So what do? I think in terms of I always have perfect health. I live in perfect health. And perfect health doesn't have pain. so it takes care of that. And same thing with money, with your specific person. You know, that was all about a relationship with somebody, and that I saw the thing that I created, and then I decided to change the meaning. And later I saw the person, and it was loving and beautiful and sweet and wonderful. Why? Because I did not allow myself to go down that horrible rabbit hole of that negative thinking and then be accusatory of something that didn't actually happen. Because in my consciousness, it can only happen if I'm consciously aware that it happened. So when I ran into that person later, guess what? It had never happened because I didn't give it that attention. I gave it the attention of love. And I am so grateful for this friendship, for this beautiful person that's in my life that blesses me all the time. That's where I live with that person. I don't care what's going on around me. And and by that I mean, what's going on around me is all of my negative thinking. They're only reflecting back to me what my thoughts are. So they're always being wonderful, loving, and kind to me because that's how I view them. That's my concept of them. And that concept of them comes from my concept of myself, which is that ultimate self-concept that I am the operant power of my reality. Nothing and no one has any free will in this quantum bubble reality but me, that we are multidimensional and there's many, many versions of you and me, and that everybody has their own quantum bubble reality and they can do whatever they want in theirs. But in mine, I get to do what I want. I get to have, be, and do what I choose. That is just the law of the universe. So why fight it? Why sit down and analyze it and say, oh, I'm taking away free will? No, you're not. The only free will you're screwing around with is your own. Stay in the state of consciousness that says, I'm in control of this quantum bubble reality. This is my reality, and I get to control it. I get to decide what I'm going to experience and feel. And life has things come into us. We just stay in a state of consciousness that I'm in control. I don't have to. One time I was chopping vegetables, and I had this thought, and then I suddenly had a second thought, because our higher self knows everything. And Neville talks about the higher self and the lower self, the old nature and the new nature, the old man and the new man. Well, my higher self said to me, you don't have to be afraid of anything because you're in control of everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I dropped my little veggies and I was like in tears because why? I didn't have to be afraid anymore. Fear's a horrible place to be. And it's not serving your body in one at all. You have to, your body, to be healthy, you need to be in what's known as homeostasis and balance and harmony, and your cells can grow and thrive. They need an environment of love, joy, peace, and gratitude to grow and replenish. And your body is not the same body. Year to year, you've got a new body. And every couple of weeks, every 5 days, you have a different stomach lining. And your blood's different. And I forget all the some things are 3 months, some things are 6, and I forget what they are now. I would have to go look it up, and I don't have it in front of me. But the point is, your cells are continually replenishing. You weren't born to die, you were born to live. You weren't born to get old. That's a belief. Counteract that belief. I was born to live. Why, blowing out candles on your cake is like blowing out life. That's breath blowing out life. Well, stop. and instead change it to you're blowing more life into for future birthdays and future brighter futures. So anyway, you are in control of all of that. You are in control of all of that. And there's so much we can talk about all of this. And that's where coaching one-on-one comes in. If there are things that I have mentioned that you want to know more about, then schedule a coaching session with me and we can talk about it individually and specifically to you. Ask me a question and I'll do my best. Again, it's going to be general. I'll do my best to answer it, but again, it will be general because I won't have all the facts because we're not talking one-on-one. And I have to be conscious of everyone else that's reading that and sensitive to your privacy in the things that I say. So coaching is probably the better thing. But nonetheless, you have a higher self that talks to you. Listen to it. It knows everything about everything. And so live from a state of being that says, I am control. I walk around reminding myself, and we have to rehearse this because we've been trained oppositely, that I'm in control, that I'm in control of my health. So if I've got a pain, that's okay. What do I say? I also know this, and here's how you comfort yourself. You got a pain or you don't feel well and you're whatever, you know that in this moment I created this with some past thoughts. I don't know how, I don't care when. I just know that I did because that's the way that everything works. So I can change it because it's not real, it's an illusion. What I'm thinking right now is that I have fine, perfect, wonderful health and I'm healthy. And so I don't focus on the pain. I don't focus on whatever the illness is. And if I have to do that for 6 months, I'll do it. For a year, I'll do it. I had to do that many times for 3 months. And I can go back and look at things in my life, but it happened. It manifested. You don't give up. You don't quit. Like I'll say to my clients when they're like, I'm done. What's your other option? What is it? Yeah. What's the option? I can't do, they tell me I can't do this anymore. Well, what other options do you have? You either don't do it and decide right now and hang up from the call, or you decide to do this and draw the line in the sand and say, I don't care what, no matter what, I'm doing this. And I'm sticking with it and I'm staying the course. I am in control. I am in control of my reality. And so remember this. This is your self-concept. And once you have this self-concept, all of that other stuff about being worthy and not having people on pedestals and obsessing and all the stuff about being the goddess and the king and all of that falls naturally in line when you remember this. I am the ultimate, or I am the operant power of my reality. That nothing and no one has any free will but me. And that everything and everyone, not just people, but everything must conform to me. So I'm walking around all the time saying everything always works out so perfectly in my favor. And guess what? It does. It is amazing how that happens. It's just like, and I love to just smile to myself because people don't know and I'm not telling them. and that the 3D is only a reflection, an illusion. It's not real. So I'm not going to give it my energy. Why would I live in a place that's not real? Have to keep bringing myself back because my ego wants to. I'm human. We have the higher self and the lower self. The lower self gets us into a lot of trouble because we listen to it. Don't. Stay in the higher self where you are in your higher spirituality, where you're in that state of consciousness that says, I am in control of my reality. So nothing and no one has any free will over us. Not everything and everyone must conform to us. The 3D is not real. It's a reflection of past thoughts. In this moment is what is real. And whatever I want in the future, I have it now. I have a desire for it. It exists in the quantum field. I'm selecting it. I'm bringing it into my present moment and I'm embracing it and living it and becoming it. The universe only reflects back to us who we are. It mirrors back what we send out. We all send out electromagnetic signals constantly. If you think you aren't, you are. Let's just face it, you are. And it's either something you want to, then what happens is, whatever you're sending out, it's going to be mirrored back to you. So if your world isn't what you want in certain areas, change those and send out a signal that is in alignment with what you want. And that will be mirrored back to you. So if you want your specific person in your life, stop saying you don't have them. Stop talking to people that you don't have them. Stop talking to yourself that you don't have them. Create a vision in your mind that you do have them, that says you do from the end of having live there. Be that person, all inclusive. That person has their SP. That person has all the money in the world that they want. That person has the cars, the houses, the material things. It has the spirituality that they want, the personality that they want. It has it all. It has the health, the enthusiasm, the life. It has cells that are continually replenishing the body so that you always feel well and healthy and energized and young. So that is what you have to do. Bring all of that into the present moment and live there. Saying that's who I am now, even though the evidence hasn't shown up yet in the 3D reality, that you're being it now before you see the evidence. As within, so without, remember? So then when you do that, when you live internally as the operant power, that I am with my specific person right now. We have this, how's it feel? Everything's about feeling. When you're sending that electromagnetic feeling, frequency out into the universe to connect with what you want, for whatever it is that you want, will be whatever you are thinking about that's creating that signal is going to be mirrored back to you. So make sure it's what you want. And as that's being mirrored back to you, it will start to show up in your 3D reality. So it's important that you know exactly what you want. And then you embrace that and you become it. The universe gives us who we are, not what we want. And patience is so important. Doesn't happen overnight sometimes. And just think about it. How long have you been living in the state of consciousness of an old program that's negative and that says I'm not worthy, that I'm not good enough, and how, that they always choose other people over me, and that can be not just with an SP, but work and anything, relationships, whatever. I used to have a long time ago, and I didn't know I was doing this, but it was like a joke from a Broadway show. I think it was Broadway. But anyway, it was a Barbra Streisand song, Secondhand Rose. And I used to joke that I was a secondhand rose because at some point I realized that a lot of people were giving me things. Instead of looking at it as manifesting those in, which is what I was actually doing, I labeled it as a secondhand rose and that I always had secondhand stuff. And so then one day I was looking at my place and I was like, everything is being given to me. And then I realized that I was living from that secondhand rose. And then I realized, well, no, you're manifesting this. Change your perspective from the not having, the lack, like a secondhand rose. That's not very valuable, is it? To, I manifested this, and that is very valuable because that's saying that I am the operant power of my reality. And yeah, so now, and also, everything that's come to me where people have given me things or they just things have manifested into my world where I'll run into something and there it is and it's mine and I can whatever have it. It gives me, there's this beautiful thing, like every time I look at something that someone gave me, it's like I can think of that person and send them love, right? So there's all about your perspective and living in that state of consciousness that says I'm in control. I'm the one who did this. I'm the creator. I'm the co-creator with the universe. This stuff's out there. If I have a desire for it, it's going to come into me if I embrace it and live from it now in the present moment before the event actually has shown up, and feel it. And that's what I started to say a while ago. When your electromagnetic signal goes out, it's electromagnetic because you've got the intention, and the magnetic part is the feeling, and that's what pulls it into. That's what's mirrored back to us. So pulls it back to us. So feel like you already are with your specific person right now. And how does that feel? And don't do that just now and then get up and walk around feeling you're not. You do it all day long, all night long. You're sleeping with that person, beside that person. Same way with your health, with anything that you want in life. You live from it constantly, and when you slip out of it, you bring yourself back. You recognize that's a conscious creator. You recognize I slipped, I fell, I went back into the old story. So that's really good. That's a positive thing. When that happens, especially when it's happening a lot, that is proof to you that your brain is being rewired, because it wouldn't be standing up against you if you weren't doing something to change it. There's resistance. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. And eventually that resistance will get less and less and less and be gone. And you will, all of a sudden one day, I am the person I want to be. I am the thing as I want. I am being, and I am doing everything my heart desires. And why? Because I'm the operant power of my reality, and I created it. I co-created it with the quantum bubble reality that I am and the universe. It's all the same. It's all the same. So concept is, I am the operant power. I'm in control of everything. I can have, be, and do anything I want, as long as I have thoughts that are going to support that, and I stay in them. And I live from that feeling. The feeling is the key. So important. It's the attractor energy. You got to have it. And gratitude is a real good way to get there. When you're spiraling, it's like, I can't feel anything other than the negative stuff. So make yourself put your hand on your chest where your heart chakra is, and where you touch is where your sensations go. And so you're going to be touching that center of your heart center, which is so important. It's so powerful, more powerful than there's a brain in your heart, and it's more powerful than the brain in your head. So you're going to touch your heart center, and then you're going to think of something you're thankful for, you're grateful for. And it may not be so you're spiraling over an SP, and right now you don't feel very grateful for them. You feel really hurt by something they said or did or haven't said and done. So you be grateful for the fact that you're alive. And if that doesn't enthuse you, that's okay too, because I've been there. Well, what if you're thankful for this pretty new nail polish? Or you're thankful for your child, or your little, one of my clients said for their dog. And this little dog was like, kept coming up against their face and hugging and kissing them because they had been crying earlier. Our animals are so sensitive to our hearts and our needs. And he was just being so affectionate. She was grateful for that. And it makes me all teary thinking about it, because I have experienced it so many times with animals. They know, they can sense our feelings. So anyway, and that's the other thing. People can, I did forgot to let you, yes, you create the meaning, but also they think and feel what you think they're thinking and feeling. So if you're thinking they're thinking all this negative stuff, they are. If you're feeling they're feeling all this negative stuff, they are. If you change all that around, and I've done this, then they change all around, because why? They have to conform to you. So live in a state of gratitude, knowing that you can change everything with your thoughts, with your feelings, and live in that state of consciousness where you are grateful for the simple things, your bed, whatever it is, a couch, the window, the sunshine, whatever it is. And then as you feel more and more gratitude for that simple thing, which is a big thing really, but for that thing that you can at least be grateful for now in this moment, it will expand and expand and expand till you start to move into a place consciously where you emotionally, where you and mentally, where you can be grateful for your SP, be grateful for the pain in your back, be grateful for the lack of income in your bank, because you don't have that anymore. Now you're grateful for all the money that you have. I mean, really, you're grateful for it. You're grateful for everything in your life. Start being grateful for it. And when you're grateful, you let that feel in your whole body and expand inside of you till it's growing. It's vibrating out of you, radiating gratitude to you. The ultimate receivership emotion or feeling is gratitude. And when the universe sees that you're grateful for that SP that may be living with someone else right now, and you're grateful for them being that you're in this beautiful, loving relationship with them, where you two are exclusive with each other and so blissfully happy, when you're so grateful for that, it's just radiating from you, the universe will mirror that back to you. And so then synchronicities will happen, and then all of a sudden one day it will be your actual reality. If you can conceive it, you can have it. It's yours. And so go to places of gratitude 3 or 4 times a day, 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and live there and pound it. I mean, make it be who you are. Not in a, I gotta do this way, but in a joyful, this is so fun and exciting. I'm creating my reality. I'm a creator. I have this power. Because you do. You just have not been using it properly. We haven't been taught to. So now use it properly and create the things you do want, instead of living in that lower energy stuff that says, I don't have, I'm not good enough, they're with someone else, I'm not chosen. Get out of that place. I'm old, I'm young, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too thin. Get out of that place and be that all-inclusive person now, before it shows up in your reality, and it will show up in your reality. It already has, it's there, you just can't see it, so you already have it. You have it now. So your self-concept is, I'm the operant power of my reality, and I control everything. And I get to create what it is I want to experience. And I pull that vision into my heart in the present moment, and I live from there as that person. And then I expect it all to show up in my 3D. If you have any questions or whatever, you're welcome to leave a comment and I will respond to you, and then also book a session and we can talk about your specifics and help you through all that. Blessings, and thank you for listening.